Hello, I'm Ron Jess for Jessfor30, and a big thank you for Wayne Media, Rob Johnson, the owner, and Julia and Johnny, and everyone here. You guys are simply the best, and I appreciate it. You make everybody feel like they're at home, and that's a great thing. Well, it's an honor to have Jeff Chadwick and Tim Finnerty here with us today. Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, Ron.
Oh yeah, this is going to be fun.
It's really special to be here with this guy here who I haven't seen in a little while.
Thanks.
Been a few years, yep.
I'll start with Tim here. Your mom and dad, the family, Catholic, growing up in Dearborn, Michigan, Divine Child Parish.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we always went to Catholic schools, and yeah, it was like a tradition, just like Jeff's family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff? Same question.
Yeah, we grew up in Livonia. Actually, when we were kids, we lived in Livonia, had a small house. My dad was working for Ford.
Mm-hmm.
And
right there in right in Livonia?
Yeah.
Yeah. I call on them.
It was the first house I remember, right, as a youngster. And I think it was probably about when I was 6 or 7 that we moved to Dearborn Heights. Mm-hmm. The reason my parents moved there, they had new development there, residential development in Dearborn Heights, and we moved there because it wanted us to go to a Catholic school, Dearborn Divine Child. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
And it was only like 20 minutes away from where my dad worked at Ford Credit. So they purchased their first home, and it was on Dover. Remember Dover?
Oh, yeah.
A couple streets over from Tim's.
Yeah, a few blocks over, right down the street from Divine Child, really. Yeah.
And basically that was about a mile. Wasn't it about a mile from the school?
No, not even that. I'm thinking maybe less than a half mile.
Okay.
It seemed
like a mile.
In the snow, it was 5 miles.
Yeah. with the brown paper. I remember my mom, we said, there's 4 feet of snow, Mom, and we're like maybe 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
4th grade. Probably not. Probably just over. So we've got a brown paper bag. I remember making it to St. Agatha, and it was okay. But, 8 kids, we didn't have much money. And, I remember walking back, and the bag was wet, and everything fell out. And it like ruined my day. You lost your lunch.
Yeah. Well, back then it was everything was frugal, right? Mm-hmm. It was having a lot of kids. Mm-hmm. And I grew up with 5. There was 5 boys in the family, no girls. Of course, you had your dog, and
oh yeah.
And basically, Dad worked, Ma stayed home and took care of the house and took care of the kids, right? But it was. We didn't get anything handed to us. It was like we had chores, before we could go out and play. It was get your homework done and get your chores done.
Yeah.
And then it was playtime. So it was outside. We didn't sit around in our rooms too often.
Jeff, we had 8 kids, 4 boys, 4 girls, and my grandma Madden from Ireland, Kathleen Madden. She lived with us, So that in Redford, 7 and Beach. Yeah. That area, $7 grand. Tim, what brought you to Brighton?
Well, after Divine Child, I believe my last year at Divine Child was 84 or 85. And then we moved to Brighton, and then started coaching at St. Agatha in...
Our school.
Yeah, in Detroit there. It was kind of near our mooring and our first house down there. Anyway, then started coaching in Brighton in 87.
Did you coach with Mike Benane at St. Agatha? Was he the one? Were you high school or grade school?
No, it wasn't St. Agatha. It was St. Gemma.
Oh, St. Gemma's. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was actually our whole staff. Remember John Mazer, Tim Lee, Tommy Lang.
Yeah.
You remember some of the guys from Divine Child? Yeah.
Tom was a great football player and basketball player too.
Yeah. Both of those guys, John Mazer, Tom Lang, played at U of D. And I went to Divine Child, but those are my 2 best friends. Mm-hmm. It was kind of funny, but both since deceased, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
How did you make it to Clare, Michigan, or in that area?
Well, that area, Stevenson Lake, is kind of a family, area. When we wanted to go up north when we were kids, it was basically, get in the station wagon and take our. Back then, it took like 4 hours to get there.
Yeah.
We'd always stop, take one stop. It was obviously the roads weren't quite developed as they are now, but it was where we learned how to water ski and swim and fish and do all that kind of stuff. Ride motorcycles, mini bikes, and play. So we'd get out there for a couple of weeks during the summertime. So we had quite a bit of family. My grandfather had about 100 yards of lakefront property, okay, on 10 acres. And so we had right smack dab in the middle section of the lake, the best part, right? And to this day, it's still up and going. Almost 100 years been in the family. So, and make a long story short, once I came back from California about 10 years ago, I was helping my mom out in Plymouth for a few years until she passed, and just came up north and liked it. It was different, so I moved out here.
You guys both, start with Tim, your DC friends growing up and the great players that have come from Divine Child.
Oh yeah. Well, including this guy here. When you think about the Detroit Lions this year and the great season they had, who was the best receiver? I'm on Ross A. Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy had 23 more yards than him in, what was it, 1986?
They distribute the ball a lot different than back when I played.
Right.
It was like one of my coaches was Chuck Knox, right? He was my head coach for Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams when I left Detroit, and they used to call him Ground Chuck, okay, because he was just always run the ball, establish. It was all about don't turn the ball over, okay, establish the run first and foremost, and just methodically take it down the field and get your points. It was all about time of possession. Don't turn the ball over. Okay, he drilled that in us, right? But I think his point was in 1986 I had my best year. Okay, I was 5 yards short of 1,000 yards for the Detroit Lions.
Nice.
Which is pretty good because even back then we didn't throw the ball a ton.
Was that Scott Mitchell, the quarterback then, or
no.
who was it?
Hippo.
Oh, Eric Hipple.
Yeah.
That must have been a hoot. You guys were playing at where?
Pontiac Silverdome.
Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah.
It was funny watching some of the old film back then with the quarterbacks, the technique quarterbacks use now, and watching the drop back, and they're basically shuffling backwards. Now they're, it's completely different technique now.
Yeah. We didn't have quarterbacks really that were encouraged to get outside the pocket. They didn't want their quarterbacks running back when I played. Okay, if you had to scramble and get out, that was one thing. That's when the pocket collapsed, right? Just get out, find a way out, and see if you can find a receiver. But it wasn't the norm. Okay, now it is. You got to have a quarterback that can run. I mean, we have Jared Goff. He's not a runner. That's why we count so much on that offensive line being healthy, right?
Yeah, he's not Mahomes. I mean, but
Yeah,
who is?
There's a lot of guys, but most of the quarterbacks in the NFL, most of them can run as well as pass, right?
Well, didn't the Lions draft a running quarterback? Isn't the backup? I don't know that.
Hendon Hooker,
Yeah.
from Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. I think he moves pretty well. He's not Jared Goff, right?
Yeah.
But he gets to sit behind Goff and be in the meetings and learn the game at the highest level,
Well, Goff took a lot of rough stuff, and he in the end, everywhere you went, they were cheering Jared Goff, even at basketball games and hockey games, and so it was good to see for him because he seems like a great guy.
Yeah, he's been humble ever since he came here.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeff, your Legends football camp in Clare, you got a lot of former Lions come in there, and what's that like?
Yeah, the guys like it, and you know, it's just giving back to the kids, the community. Have the camp. I believe this year's July 16th, 17th, and 18th. So we're doing a 3-day camp. All the coaches are former NFL players, and we have assistant coaches to help us out. But we do the coaching.
Is that at the high school up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brookwood Athletic Complex, right there in Clare. It's really nice.
What about confidence? You know, confidence teaching these kids, is that part of your program up there?
Well, I think, confidence is something you kind of develop over time. You know, and confidence comes with success, right? And what is success? It's just you bettering yourself. Okay.
Preparation.
It's the hard work you put in, and then you compete.
We
right?
had Clint Copenhaver here a couple weeks ago. I know you and him are close. And Brighton kid in Michigan, 97. But he said that what people see on Saturdays is 2%. He said the homework on the campus, the work, the winter is 98 or more, and you see 2% of what they do on Saturday.
Well, it's the football games, you know, on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, whatever you're playing. It's the track meets. That's the time to show what all your hard work that you've put in practice. Because to me, the practices were always the hardest. Okay? Whatever I was playing, whatever sport, it was always practices were always the hardest, even in the NFL. Right? Because you're playing against guys that know you. They know your tendencies, your weaknesses, you know, that kind of stuff. And so and plus you have to work hard so that on game day it's like riding a bike. Okay? You're so used to doing it. You're so used to working hard. And it's really it's a time to showcase yourself.
Yeah.
Your team to showcase themselves, right? Against an opponent that doesn't know you except for what they see on film.
You do see the wide receivers today, Jeff. I mean, Tim, the patterns are so precise. You know, I mean, and the quarterback's throwing the ball, and the guys, and all of a sudden, here it is. You know, they have to be that way.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the biggest difference in the NFL going from college to pro. You know, everything's a step up, right? So if you look at it from grade school to high school, you know, you're like intimidated because you know these guys they look like men when you're just a little kid, right? But you're a freshman in high school. Then you got to work your way through that, and then it's like, wow, you get an opportunity to go to college and play ball? How special is that? To really continue? Because most kids think about it. Once they're done with high school, it's over. Unless you get into like intramural, you know, softball or basketball or something like that.
What was it that drove you? Really, I mean, you have to have that internal that you went to Grand Valley where they recruit. Did you have other people recruiting you?
Ferris State.
Okay.
Eastern Michigan.
You like Grand Valley?
I went to Grand Valley because my older brother was playing basketball there.
Okay.
Okay, and I was a little bit familiar. I knew it was a good business school. Okay, and they had a good nursing program, so I knew academically wise it was a good college. But they also played good sports. They didn't have much of a track program. Okay,
right.
Very small track program, but I ran track there. You know.
All right. I did bring a couple of things. My wife, Michelle, had put together for Jeff and Tim. It's her banana nut bread.
Oh, love that stuff.
Yeah.
Is it calorie-free, fat-free?
yeah.
Oh, you can't eat it? Well, then give it to me. I'll take it.
I don't know about eating. I'll see if I can pick it up.
With that, I'm going to take it back.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so question for you.
Okay.
Who are the 3 Detroit Lions that came out of Divine Child?
You, Hutchison.
Who's the tight end that I can't?
Oh yeah. That's it.
No, not a tight end.
Was he a
Quarterback.
linebacker?
Quarterback.
Oh, Gary Danielson.
Oh yeah, Danielson.
You remember him?
Of course. He was more your age, Tim, no offense, but him and Forstack was the first, went to Notre Dame and busted up his knee.
Gary Forstack,
Broke his shoulder, yeah.
His shoulder.
Yeah, that was interesting story there. You know, He was a high school All-American, went to Notre Dame, became the starting quarterback as a sophomore. One of the first plays, they're running triple option. He's running outside, and he gets hammered, and he breaks his collarbone. And who comes in to replace him? Joe Montana.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And that was it.
Goodbye job.
No, I'm telling you, these are the guys that I used to look up to. And I always tell kids this too at camp. Look up, not at the professionals, okay? Don't go that far. Look at the guys that are playing just above you. Mm-hmm. So when you're in grade school, look at your high school athletes, okay? And be inspired by them. Because that's the next step, okay? Don't worry about anything else. Don't go watch it, enjoy it, appreciate it, but really watch the kids that are just a bit older than you. Mm-hmm.
Well, you had the advantage in Dearborn there. You had,
I used to watch him. He inspired me.
You told me that he was your hero.
Yeah.
As a kid, and Tim played, I believe, at Hillsdale. Am I right? As a halfback.
Well, yeah, I played 2 years of junior college football first.
Did you?
And then transferred to Hillsdale, correct.
See, I used to be so impressed with the way he would just, like, I remember, like, back then, like, we could be just behind the players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, your team would be out there, and we'd be, like, on the track.
Right.
Okay, just off of the field. And I remember just, like it was yesterday. You know, you have the eye black, and on a grass field, the field's wet. He'd get the ball. He'd come to the outside. He'd just drive forward. You know, guys would be trying to put a pounding on him, and he'd be putting a pounding on them. And, you know what I'm saying?
Did Kenny Mon hit you hard?
Kind of reminds me of Pacheco.
Right.
Isn't that Pacheco for the Chiefs?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Okay, you know how hard he runs.
Yeah.
Every time he gets the ball, that was him.
Yeah. I can
And then,
see
of course, he has a son, Cullen, who I'm sure you taught him how to play quarterback, right? Son, if you're going to play this game, you got to be a runner and a thrower.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he did it both. Went to Grand Valley. That's really what put Grand Valley on the map.
Oh, yeah, we've heard
During
that a million times. Grand Valley really wasn't doing anything. And then the coaches there would say, wow, we couldn't get anybody. And all of a sudden, all these all-state quarterbacks from around the country, we want to go to Grand Valley because of Cullen Finnerty. I mean, that was, everybody knew that. It was no secret.
Yeah.
So 10 years in the NFL, Jeff?
Yeah.
What's that like?
A lot of hard work. Being lucky too, with injuries and stuff like that, because the football season doesn't wait around for you. You're going to get your dings, and just hope that you never get hurt too bad. So with me, you did broken fingers, Achilles tendon, toe surgery, broken ribs, concussions, collarbone.
Toe surgery ruined your career.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but
and you
didn't ruin it. I got 10 years in, so
yeah.
I just couldn't. I couldn't
mean it that way.
I couldn't come back from it.
Yeah.
When they did the surgery, they said, "Oh yeah, just go home. You'll be all right. You can start training in a couple of weeks." No, not at all.
Didn't you miss the last game in 86? Did you hurt your
No, it was
shoulder?
my Achilles.
Oh, okay. So if he had another game, he would. He probably.
Well,
would have been
I played
run
14
1,000.
games that year and was 5 yards short of 1,000 yards with an 18.8 per catch average.
Amazing. That's
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah. So, basically, you get those kind of plays going up the field, right? Like you get that average up. Most of the guys nowadays, they average 12. If they average 14 yards a catch is really good nowadays. But they're catching a lot. They're getting fed the ball. The Lions just was a couple years ago. They didn't have any receivers. That was a big complaint. We don't have receivers, right? Now they have receivers, right?
Right.
They got a tight end. They got a lot of targets. The problem, I think, is there's so much talent out. They got so much talent offensively as far as your specialty position, but your running backs, 2 of them.
They're
right?
good. They're both really good. That one from Chicago, I had my fantasy league the year before, and he killed it. We have acquired 2 sponsors. I've asked 2, they're basically friends of mine, so that helps. Mamma Mia's Pizza at Grand River and Beach in Redford Township. That's our family, the Jess family go-to place. They have the best pizza in town. They have great pizza. They have steaks. They have everything. And Mike, the owner, and his dad, they'll treat you right. They'll do catering, they'll do banquets, 10 to 50 people. But the big thing, they're just great guys. The other sponsor is Dr. Timothy Kaczynski. He's done 4,200 implants, close friend from high school at St. Agatha. Tim's taught probably 60,000 dentists. He travels all over the country, and he's what you would have to say. People talk about pain-free dentistry. I can vouch for it. I've got 10 implants from Tim, and he is pain-free dentistry, and does it with a smile. But Jeff, any further on your Legends Camp? We're kind of wrapping up.
Yeah, no, just, if there's any interest, you can get on our Facebook page and get any information off there that you need to as far as signing up. The kids are participating.
We've got the end of the show here, and all we ask you guys is we've got a quart of the Jess pickles for you both. You can open them up. They're hard to open, so you got to put a little muscle into it. You have to rate them 1 to 10, Jeff.
Is it dill?
They're garlic dill.
Garlic dill, nice.
They get mad at me when I start telling them that you got to rate them like high.
Okay, we got a sandwich, burger, something to go with it?
Banana nut. What?
Not with pickles. Very good.
Nice clean taste.
Crisp.
Yeah, crisp.
Very flavorful.
Yeah,
A
chunky,
lot of flavor.
crispy, yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 9, Ron.
A 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are pretty
Did you
darn
make
good.
these?
Yes, sir. Yeah. We give them away at every show. This is we don't do them because you're special, Jeff. We bought
You grow your own
honestly.
pickles?
No, we get them at Eastern Market or Brighton Market, but we always get them when they're real small and crunchy. But I appreciate you both being here. Thank you very much for coming in.
Well,
and,
thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you, Jeff.
Yes, good to meet you.
Thanks,
Tim,
Ron.
good seeing you again.
Good seeing you.
Thank you.